Welcome to another episode of our Founders Podcast. I'm your host, Ash, and this is a show where I interview proven founders and industry experts who share their stories, strategies, and insights to help you build, launch, and grow your business. In this episode, I talked to Sab. Sab is a business optimization specialist. Sab brings a decade of digital marketing expertise, partnering with six, seven figures businesses to boost revenue and streamline operations. Passionate about efficient strategies and tech driven solutions, Sub's journey combines marketing finesse with technological innovations, industry leader in unleashing SaaS potential. As industry authoritative, SAB unveils the power of SaaS in driving leads, clients, and sales. Focusing on funnel softwares and CRM, SAB accelerates goal attainment through efficient tech integration. Sas is also founder of DBSS Digital, and is pioneer with 360-degree marketing approaches. With 20 plus years in Facebook ads, funnels, and CRM automation, DBSS Digital Limited propels business to rapid expansion through automated solutions. So Saab's mission is basically redefining the growth via Facebook ads and CRM automation. I hope you enjoy the show. Saab, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me on, Ash. I'm looking forward to sharing a couple of useful things about who I am, what I do, and hopefully I can add some value to your audience, to you, and yeah, look forward to getting stuck in.
Awesome.
So great to be here.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite quote, something that inspires or motivates you that you can share with our audience?
Yeah, sure. So I definitely have a good quote, which is "Don't leave for tomorrow what you can do today," and that
Mm.
definitely applies to, I guess, not just business, but personal life. I guess it can apply to anything. I think there's always a reminder of we can always do more to strive towards our goals. We can always make that extra sales call, send that message to that potential client. There's always more that we could do. So that's definitely something that resonates with me, and I think about a lot.
That's really good. That's really good. I think when I was a kid, my grandmother used to say this all the time. So I do remember this that do it today if you can do it. Why do you want to keep it for tomorrow? So yeah, that's a good one. So tell us about your business optimization expertise. How do you help the businesses? Who is your ideal customer profile, and what is the problems you're helping businesses to solve?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of what we do is helping business owners to buy back their time. We do work a lot with a variety of business owners. It's mostly service-based business owners. So we
Mhm.
work with a range of clients from holistic dentists all the way through to event and training companies, some of which are very established and very well known in those particular industries. And we really help them to, as I say, buy their time back. And we do that through a variety of methods and softwares. So, there's a variety I won't go too much into right now, but there's a whole range of things that we do for our clients to help them to buy their time back. And the problem we do see is, a lot of people that we speak with think that they need to know everything about digital marketing, everything about SaaS, everything about automation and things like that. And really, in a lot of cases, it's making a couple of small adjustments to get those bigger results. Even some larger businesses I've worked with, I've made very small, changes, and in a short space of time, managed to really get them better results. So, I do think a lot of business owners think they have to have all these softwares, all these tools, all these things set up, and
Mm.
actually in reality they don't. And in some cases that's not even the problem anyway. Sometimes it's another problem, like they're not generating enough traffic, and there's a whole range of things. And I guess, yeah, people do overcomplicate it and think that they need everything perfect and think they need to know everything, and it's definitely not always the case.
Mm, I can imagine. And especially with the B2B space, it is quite difficult for businesses to understand this whole, um, you know, uh, yeah, whole customer generation and funnel and all this kind of stuff. And for me also, I run a very small SaaS business, and I don't understand how the customer acquisition work in totality, to be honest. I need
Yeah,
help. I always keep asking these stupid questions to my friends who are into marketing or business development. And it's just literally a series of small tips and techniques which I have to keep learning. And sometimes, actually, most of the time, I feel like, oh, you know what, this is too much for me. I want to focus on my work. I want to focus on my SaaS product. I would potentially just get somebody on board to help me with it. So,
yeah.
so you know, totally agree with you with how the problems we face in SaaS space. So can you talk about where the story began? Where did the idea for helping businesses optimizing their or automating their business processes came from, and which motivated you to start this?
Yeah, sure. So it's very humble beginnings. So if I wind the clock back to around 6 or 7 years ago, I was working full time in local government. I was working a administrative role, and that had nothing to do with marketing. So I was doing that full time. I'd been in local government for about 5 or 6 years at this point. This was back in 2016, 2017. And for a good couple of years prior to that, I'd been looking into online marketing and how to make money online. And that was a bit of a rabbit hole because if anyone has ever tried, who's listening, to look at ways to make money online, there's millions and millions, and every single day there's even more ways to make money than there was previous day. So it was
Mm,
very much, okay, what do I focus on? What do I pick that's really going to suit me and going to work for me? And I start with quite a low budget, so I got into social media marketing. I tried to market and brand myself, and I just did that through sharing some valuable content about social media to build up my kind of reputation. And again, this was while I was working full time, so it wasn't very easy for me. I can tell you that. And what then happened is I had someone reach out to me wanting to hire me to do some social media, and I was like,
mm,
"Well, this is incredible." I yeah was blown away. So I got my first client through doing that, and then I got some more clients doing the same thing, and eventually that led to doing a business optimization and consulting, and specifically marketing automation and digital marketing consulting. So yeah, I really found my way into it kind of by accident and just by fumbling around online and just exploring things. And it took a while for me to build up established a digital marketing agency like we have now. We serve over 20 recurring clients at the moment. And yeah, it took a while, as I say, to really get to that point. But yeah, it was all through humble beginnings, and it was very people say overnight success. Well, it was a very long night, and
yeah.
I say success because I've definitely hit a goal that I have always wanted to achieve, but I always try and set new goals and new things that I want to achieve as well. Because I think if you've got to always move forward. Otherwise, if you're not moving forward, you're moving back. So it was definitely a bit of a journey getting started. I didn't really have many mentors at the time. I had a few people I was learning things from. So it's a lot of trial and error. But that's how I got started. It's just really um, just trying different things and seeing what worked for me.
Indeed, indeed. And I want to go through, to the process, how you identify what type of business need what kind of automation. But before that, as you mentioned about the business, could you give us a sense of the size of the business? Where are you in terms of number of customers, size of team, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So the size of the business at the moment, we're still a relatively boutique marketing agency. So we've
Mm-hmm.
got a total of 4 people in the business at the moment, including myself. We are looking to grow that a little bit. We don't want to grow that to the point where we're no longer a boutique company. We want to kind of almost limit the who we're serving, so that we're not, we're not like some agencies will just get clients and not deliver. So we don't want to be doing that. So we're at a point now where we're operating this full time, and working with some definitely big names in the industry. We really have some good partnerships going as well. So yeah, and as I mentioned, we've got approximately 20 recurring clients on board at the moment. And we do, of course, have one-off clients we work with who, we have a range of clients. Some of them want us to do all of the digital marketing and automation SaaS setup for them. Others
Mm.
just want some consulting or want it done as a one-time thing rather than recurring. So yeah, it's quite varied. We no one client is the same,
Yeah.
but they all have the same goal, which is to buy their time back and get more leads, clients, and of course sales revenue as well. So yeah, it's definitely been a good start. We're happy with the progress, and we just want to keep growing and definitely keep working with new
Yeah.
businesses. We're very passionate about helping businesses to buy their time back. And one thing we always try and do is that we aim to return our clients' investment through time saved and automation and results we generate for them as well. Something we're
Mm.
very passionate about is getting people that return on investment, and we're very focused on that.
Awesome. So I understand that each and every client is different when it comes to their business model and their revenue model and how they operate. What is your ideal customer profile? Because based on what you will share with me, which is the answer for this question, potentially we can create a hypothetical customer, and then you can take me through the step by step process.
Yeah, sure. So, the ideal customer for us would definitely be a business that is, already a relatively well-oiled machine. So,
Hmm.
a business that is kind of, six figures and above. They have a profitable model. The offer is attractive and appealing. We definitely get the best results through businesses we work with that have a bit of an audience already. We do a lot of email marketing as well, and we manage to send over 2 million emails a month. So email marketing is very big for us. So we definitely work with businesses that have a large email list, and that's definitely something we always encourage is to build your email list, build your what we call digital asset. Your email list is definitely one of those. And we also work with businesses, and our kind of ideal is businesses that already are established. They have a bit of a presence online, because for us, it's very much a case of making a couple of little tweaks to what they already have, and they have kind of the levers that we can just pull very slightly, like a 1 degree shift, to really get those results much quicker. So
Mm.
yeah, that's an idea of our kind of ideal client. We do have a couple of clients we're working with that are very close to that profile, and we're very happy to be working with them. And we do work with clients on a long-term basis, and we do, of course, value, and that's what we're looking to do, is work with clients for as long as possible. We want it to be a win-win for them and a win-win for us. We want to help them to build their dreams just as much as they're helping us to build ours. And that's the type of client we're looking for. And as I say, we do have some clients that really do fit their profile, and we're very appreciative and aware of that.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, great stuff. I wanted to learn about this. So let's say hypothetically, I have interviewed a couple of people in my on my show who have this kind of customer profile. So what I'll do is I'll combine their profiles and then present to you, and then you can take me through the process. So let's say you have an agency which operates in UK, and their primary model of operanda is you can go and subscribe to a monthly subscription on their website or on their portal, and then you can have unlimited code. So you don't interact with the software engineers. You cannot well, you can, but you don't worry that they are going to on a holiday, or they have electricity issues, etc., etc., whatever. What you do is you provide a feature. This is what you want build, and then the engineers or the team of the engineers build it for you in a week, and then you provide the feature on Monday, and you get the feature released on Friday. And every time if the feature is bigger that you cannot release it in a week, they check it down to the smaller parts, and then they release it accordingly. And that's a subscription for like say £3,000 or $3,000 a month, which gives you more than four features a month, which is more than at least 5 times what you can achieve hiring a Scrum team or a developers team in house to release these number of features. So it's always a win-win for the customer, win-win for the agency because they hire their programmers or developers in a place where they can afford them and they are good, have good relationship with them. How, as a business automation specialist, you can help this agency to capture or gather more customers, considering that they already have a automated channel on LinkedIn to reach out to people on LinkedIn and get these leads generated. And their biggest challenge is they have to call these customers. They have these Zoom calls with them to explain their services, and then let's say, for example, out of 10 calls, they are only able to convert one.
Okay. Yeah, so it definitely sounds like a high, value product, high margin product. I definitely think something that they could attempt to do is, in the process of getting them to book a call, them as in the person they're prospecting. One thing that we have implemented with clients is having some kind of, very short, almost like a sizzle call or explain a video. So before they get on the call, and this is something to test. It could be a video, it could be almost like a PDF guide, but there's something that they, before someone gets on the call, they have to either watch this video or view the resource, so they have a bit of an understanding about what the software is. Now, I would say that it shouldn't be too detailed at this point. It should be very kind of high level and very much focused on the problem solutions. And so when they do get on the call, it's a case of, right, if you want to know about the logistics, we can go through that on the call. If you want to know about pricing, we can go through that on the call. And I've known some people to send a proposal up front in advance of a call with prices as well. So these are all things I think that are worth testing. It's different for every business, but we have worked with clients who, in a similar kind of way, we're in a similar position to that, and those are some of the things we've made suggestions to do. And also within the automated follow-up, even though I'm very big on automation, if you're getting some leads coming in and it's not hundreds of leads, I would probably even be just calling and texting some of these leads like personally and manually doing it. If you're not dealing with big numbers, it's going to make a massive difference. Just dropping someone a text saying, "Hey, John, I saw that you were interested in our service. You've probably seen us on LinkedIn. Just wanted to say a quick hello and see if you had any questions." You'd be amazed at the response, right? And I think things like automation and getting into the AI side of things, and there'll always be that human element and aspect. I think that is going to always be valued amongst all of that. And I think when you can combine the two, the automation and the human factor, I think you can really create some magic. So those are some things that I think in that scenario are worth trying and looking at. And we can't always hide behind a computer when these things are happening. So to give you an idea, when I first got my first marketing funnel up, and I was trying to generate leads by doing a lead magnet giveaway. So if anyone doesn't know what that is, you're exchanging something valuable for someone's contact information to generate leads. So that's the lead magnet principle. I wasn't getting many leads. I was getting a couple of leads a week, but I would reach out to those leads manually, and the response was through the roof. Response was very high. I reach out to them personally, and it those are some things that are definitely going to help. Those are things I've tried anyway that have worked.
Mm-hmm. And what are other tactics or strategies would you recommend to these agency owners to implement? For example, currently, so they operate in mid six figures of revenue. So what are the other platforms or ways of generating lead you would suggest them, because it's mostly B2B, right? Who wants to hire these developers, these programmers? I know that LinkedIn is the primary place where everybody wants them to go to, but you're the expert.
Yeah, sure. So another thing that we do a lot of is lead generation through Facebook adverts, and a lot of things we've been testing are generating leads, which you can generate. Even if you don't have a landing page or a funnel, you can build Facebook adverts where you are actually just generating leads without needing any of those things in place. So if you are, bootstrapping your business, or you just don't have a funnel for whatever reason, or you can't get one set up, you can very easily create a Facebook ad, targeting business owners, for example. So you can go the B2B route, which is definitely recommended for that kind of service and situation. And then what we've tested is pushing them to fill in a form on Facebook. So again, no lead, no landing pages needed. And then when they've done that, just direct them to booking a call straight away. That's something that has worked very well for us. There are other strategies as well. You can try to really get the likes up on your Facebook page. So we do a lot of running likes campaigns. So another issue where your marketing may not be that effective, you may have a Facebook page that doesn't have many likes, or same thing with Instagram. You can run campaigns to really boost those numbers. So we're very big on Facebook ads, and also sometimes Instagram ads as well, just because the targeting is so powerful, so relevant, and you get so much data that you can really market with. And obviously with LinkedIn, you have LinkedIn ads. Full transparency, we've not really tested that much, so we can't say if they do work or they don't work. We would just be guessing, and we don't do that. But there's a lot of strategies you can definitely try when you have a bit of a budget. But for us, Facebook ads has been very consistent, especially with the lead ad forms, and it just makes it easier to just get a campaign up and running. You used to have to get a landing page up, and then you had Facebook pixels, and then you had to integrate it, and then you needed another tool to integrate it, and it was a lot of steps, right? And whereas now you can cut all of those out and just do the lead ad form. You don't need any of those things, and then a calendar link, which is very easy to set up, which is just, if you don't know, an online booking calendar, which I think you can get for free actually. So you can really, without many tools whatsoever, within like an hour, you can have all this set up if you really know what you're doing, of course.
Awesome. That's really good. So you're saying that Facebook ads are still working, and they are the primary source of lead generation for your customers at the moment.
Yeah. At the moment, we are of course looking into other strategies. LinkedIn ads is something we've been looking at. YouTube advertising, something we've been looking at. Again, we're not fully experienced in that, so it's hard for us to recommend it. Of course, there's so many other strategies. We know Facebook ads, Instagram ads very well, so that's what we focus on. And of course, if someone does have an email marketing list, some cases we may just say, if you've got an email list already, you may not even need to do the Facebook ads, Instagram ad steps. You can just go straight to that list. You might need to warm them up again or re-engage them if you haven't reached them out to them in a while. It's quite a common thing we see. So it definitely depends on the client, where they're at. Sometimes they are sitting on a gold mine and they have thousands of people on their lists. They just need to speak to them and say hello and let them know that they're there.
Yeah. So let's talk about this automation part then, because I'm really interested to understand what are the different kinds of automations you have provided in terms of speeding up the whole processes for your businesses, or something which businesses you didn't even knew they were doing it manually or with some kind of automation, but you have speeded up with the full-fledged automation, and what kind of impact these businesses see because of these automations.
Yeah, of course. So one that I touched on is Calendly, which is the online booking software. What a lot of people do is they want to generate a consultation, a call booking. They will try and do it manually and maybe message the client and say, hey, I'm free next week at 2:00. Does that work? And they'll reply back saying, no, I can't do next week at 2:00. And then you go back and forth, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not the most efficient thing. So we have Calendly, which is the online call booking software I mentioned. Someone can literally visit a link, and on that link, when they open it, they can see your availability and see when you're busy and not busy, and they can book an appointment there. On the back of that, you can have reminders going out about the appointment that you've set with them. This is very important. And Calendly, I think you have to pay a little bit, maybe $10 a month, to have email and text message reminders.
Mm.
And you can also automate it with Zoom. So if some of you are doing Zoom consultations, which with the example we mentioned earlier, with especially if you're a SaaS business and you want to show someone something and it's a visual product, or you need to show it visually, you can actually automate Zoom with Calendly. So someone books in a session with you through Calendly, you link it up to your Zoom, and it will automatically create a Zoom link for you and that person, and actually send them the link as well. So it
Mm.
cuts out all this manual work. And on the back of that, you have email reminders going out a day before the Zoom session, or it can be a phone call. It doesn't have to be Zoom, a day before, an hour before, 15 minutes before. So you have all these reminders going out so that it's going to really bring down your no-show rate.
Sure, sure. Okay, great. So could you share a compelling case study that highlights how a company leveraged your business optimization skills and achieved a success and solved their key business challenge? I would love to hear about a specific problem they faced and the steps taken to implement your solution and the measurable outcome they experienced as a result.
Yeah, sure. So one good example is a long-standing client that I've worked with, called Assets for Life, and I've worked with them now for, I'm just looking at what year it is because I'm trying to remember when I started working with them. I think it was about 5-6 years ago. When I first started working with them, they were just reaching, six figures, and they were doing well. They were profitable, but on a small basis, and they had no automation set up whatsoever. So
Mm.
they really needed some automated emails going out when people booked a consultation call, or when people purchased a product. They needed an email going out with all of the logistics for what they've purchased. They needed that happening
Mm.
automatically and happening immediately, so that no one forgot or there was a delay. And they also are an events based business, and so they do a lot of workshops, conferences, and webinars. So they need some automation around that. So they've managed to go from passing six figures, and this was as I say, a couple of 5-6 years ago now, and now they're at a point where they are considered one of the UK's top property business and wealth training companies. Really a thriving business in the southeast of England. They're looking to expand further up north, so they kind of become countrywide. And they have a business of, they went from 3 or 4 staff to now 20 to 25 staff, maybe more, including contractors. And they've really grown exponentially, and their revenue is definitely 10-15 times that,
Mm.
possibly even more, all through automation. There's no way they would have been able to grow without that level of automation. And it's been really, really powerful for them. And they've also saved probably tens of thousands, maybe more, on staff and all kinds of manual work that would have needed to have been done. And this was all before the AI side of things really kicked off. And really, as we all know, AI is kind of the new thing. So this was before all of that as well. So now they're really able to grow even quicker because of these tools that are so readily available we didn't have before. And it's been great working with them. They're one of my longest standing clients, and they're definitely proof that automation is definitely the key to growing your business. And that's definitely one of the biggest, best examples I can give you.
Yeah. And were you the lead generation specialist also on the in this account?
Yeah, so when I first started working with them, they were not using Facebook adverts. They were generating leads, but they were going to networking events, and they were generating leads offline, and it was working. There was some referral marketing happening, but that wasn't scalable or predictable. And so we worked a lot on the lead generation through Facebook adverts. They've now branched up onto YouTube adverts, which they have another agency doing that for them. And of course, they've gone very big on the email marketing side, and they've got a healthy database now that really works very well for them. And so they've really managed to grow and grow the right way with all these automation all these automation tools. And a lot of these tools are actually very simple to set up, very replicatable to any kind of business. Some people
Mm.
think, well, that automation stuff's great, but I don't know if I can use it for my business. Every business is different, so it may not be exactly the same from one business to another. There's definitely things you could do to automate your business, and it's just figuring out where to start and what to start with. With Assets for Life, they did not start with 10 different tools to automate the business. We did one thing at a time and did it well, and then we moved on to the next thing. So that's something I always recommend to look at.
Sure, sure. Okay. So, as you know, we are heading towards the end of our interview. I have this few questions which I want to go through before we jump on our lightning round. So, one of them is, lots of our listeners are startups. They're starting up, they're not six figures, they're either into their seed funding or they're doing it bootstrap. What are some tips and tricks you would like to share with them to generate more leads, more customers in their initial phases? What are the strategies they should use to get to the comfortable stage where they can get somebody like yourself onboarded and handle them for all these things?
Yeah, of course. I think the best advice I can give, I tried to relate back to when I started my business from nothing. I didn't really have much funding, or, I had to very much bootstrap it myself. So I have lived through that. I understand that, if that's where you are and you're listening. One big thing that I did was really grow my social media presence, which I mentioned. And again, with the AI side of things, you can really use that to speed up how quickly you can create content and get content out there, whether it's images, videos, in some cases. Really just be aggressive with getting your brand known and recognized. And that's really good because a lot of the leads and actual clients I've generated, some of the best ones have been through organic methods like social media and things like that. So
Mm.
it's definitely a valuable tool, even if you're at a point where you can afford advertising. But yeah, going back to the question here, it's definitely, really work social media as much as you can. I'd recommend picking, one platform and mastering that. For me, that was Facebook. You can be on other platforms as long as you're really focusing on that one platform, and work on it until you've got a good following, you're getting some results from it. Then you can look to, so for me it was, right, Facebook is working great. Now I'm going to do email marketing. Now I'm going to do, and just do it step by step by step.
Mm.
And that's how I did it. That's how I built my pipeline. That's how I got clients. That's how I generated revenue. It just started on that social media, and it was definitely a lot of work. But now you
Mm.
have AI to really speed things up, to create content for you faster than ever before, so that you can really, maximize your exposure. Because a lot of you listening are probably the world's best kept secret. You're very good at what you do. You do amazing work for your clients. You're very passionate about what you do. You just aren't visible enough, and that's a great way to do that. Build up your profile there for free, and then look to reinvest your profits. Another tip I can definitely give is know when to start outsourcing as well, which you can't do too early, but you
Mm.
can definitely look to do that as you're at a stage where you can reinvest some of your profits. Maybe look at, okay, I'll put a little bit into advertising, but maybe I should put a little bit into finding an expert, whether it's someone who can create that content for you, or maybe someone who can do a LinkedIn outreach for you. It's something that will help you to generate more revenue. So those are some good recommendations I can make, which I think will really speed things up. If you're at zero,
Mm.
then actually it's a good place to be, because you can start from the ground up and do it the right way.
Mm.
And you can do a lot of it organically. And I would actually even say, just to finish on that question, to not even look to do paid advertising until you're really at a profitable level, when you're close to six figures, because you need to know if your offer is working. You need to refine it. There's probably a lot of back end processes you need to understand and look through.
Mm.
But already investing in advertising, I've seen it happen before. People have gone to the advertising world too early and been very eager to do it,
Mm.
and something's not right on the back end, and so they've wasted a lot of advertising budget, without refining those things. Of course, I wouldn't want that for anyone.
Awesome. That sounds perfect. And And my second question was around the paid advertisement. So let's say you have reached to the comfortable place where you want to do it. How do you start and then maintain it? And potentially, because I've heard a lot of people burn their hands with advertisement because they
Mm.
put something on, the money is just churning out, and they do not even see one lead, and they don't understand why. So, any tips on that?
Yeah, sure. So definitely with the advertising game, it's changed a lot since when I first started marketing online, 7, 8 years ago. And back then it was very easy to just put an advert up and you'd instantly be profitable because the competition was much smaller then and there are a lot less like rules. Now it's a bit stricter. So I definitely say the approach is different now. I would take
Mhm.
the approach of starting with a low budget. So the minimum for Facebook adverts is £1 per day.
Mhm.
So you can, I would say it's better to start with £1 a day and do that consistently for 60 days or longer, as long as you can. It's
Mhm.
better to do that than it is to start with your advertising. And Facebook do generally favor people that are or favor your advertising account if you're consistently advertising. So I definitely say start small and see if you're getting some results on the smaller basis, whether it's on a likes campaign that I mentioned, or whether it's on a campaign for generating leads. There's a load of different Facebook type of adverts you can run. I wouldn't get too bogged down with all the different types you can do. I would just say start small, start steady, and it might take some time to really get those results through Facebook ads, because we all know Facebook ads is instant traffic, but it doesn't mean it's instant results. Now, the
Yeah.
one thing we do have with Facebook adverts is retargeting. So retargeting is marketing back to someone who has seen your page on Facebook, or has visited your website, or has watched one of your videos on Facebook. So you have that capability as well. So that means anyone who's seen your Facebook page or seen your website, they haven't taken action. You have another bite of the cherry, so to speak, which you don't always get with other platforms very easily. So start small, start steady, because even if you did have the budget to spend on Facebook ads, you have to start small anyway and then scale up if something's working.
Yeah.
So that's something I always recommend. Start on a small budget, and even if you did have the budget, I wouldn't say spend more than like £5 a day, until you've mastered those principles. Days.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. That's perfect. This is very practical, because a lot of people I speak with, they say, "Oh, just throw £1,000 on Facebook advertisement and you will see the leads are generating." But that's actually not the case. You have to be very, very, focused in terms of what strategies you want to implement for your kind of business in order to get that kind of attention. So that's really good. That's really good. Great. So we should wrap up now. We are going to go into the lightning round. So I've got six quick fire questions for you. So just answer them as quickly as you can. You ready?
Yes, do it. Perfect.
Awesome. Right. What book would you recommend to our audience and why?
So I always liked the book Think and Grow Rich by, I think it's Napoleon Hill. I
Hmm.
recommend that book just because it definitely taught me the science of understanding how do we generate money and relationship with money. It's definitely a mindset thing. I've talked a lot about marketing, but there is a mindset shift. If you want to start generating clients and going for a certain revenue goal, you need to have a money mindset to make sure you don't have a mental block around receiving money from a client or from someone to get you there. So I think
Yeah,
that's important as well, to have that mindset combination shift with your marketing skill set.
sure. What's one attribute or characteristic in your mind of a successful founder?
So for me, it's definitely having that patience to go after your goals and stick with it, and having that consistency. Just being patient, because sometimes it takes a while to really get the results you want. Sometimes you don't always hit your goals. Sometimes you don't hit them at all. Even as a marketer, I can get a campaign out there, it doesn't always work. So you got to have that patience.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite personal productivity tool or habit?
So for me, it's just going for a walk. I find it therapeutic. It's like my meditation. I've tried meditation; it hasn't always worked for me. So I like just getting out there, seeing a bit of nature, and I get my best ideas when I do that versus when I'm working.
Great. What's a new or a crazy business idea you would love to pursue if you had time and money?
It's a good one. I think for me, it's something coffee related. I really like my coffee, so maybe it would be, launching some kind of, coffee for entrepreneurs that want to be, extra focused. I know there's probably something like that out there already, actually, but I always think that would be a good, good pet project for me.
Great. What's an interesting or a fun fact about you that most people don't know?
So yeah, it's hard to think of one here. Um, I guess I've got one which I travelled to America when I was 19 years old, and I wasn't even old enough to drink then or anything. I went there on my own for a conference,
Mm.
and I was the only British person there out of thousands of people. It was scary, but yeah, it taught me a lot about myself.
Awesome. That must be an amazing experience for you to be in that young age and representing Britain as of your own, and then going to the conference. So good one. And then the last one is, what's one of the best piece of business advice you have received? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. So for me, it's definitely, learn from people who have the results you're looking to generate. One of the
Mm.
things that, when I first started and trying to grow a business was, is finding a mentor. I did eventually find some good mentors, not specifically for marketing, but it definitely seeped through.
Mhm.
Finding people that have those results so that you're not doing that trial and error. I spent too long doing trial and error, I think. So I would have got results quicker if I found someone with those results, and I wouldn't have had to do all the trial and error.
Sure, sure. Great. So, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story and unpacking these last years of building this business and some of the ups and downs along the way. People want to check out your services. What they have to do? What's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, of course. So I've actually put something together for everyone who's listening, as a complete freebie, something that they can check out. So I've put together a digital marketing success bundle, which is a compilation of my best converting marketing campaigns and emails, templates that you can download and access and use for yourself. To be able to access that, if you go to marketwithseb.com, you can download that completely for free, and you can view my best converting campaigns. The reason why I'm giving that away is, I know how hard this automation and marketing stuff can be. I didn't just want to give away another ebook that you probably won't read. I wanted to give away something to you that you can actually use and action for yourself in your own business, and kind of use it as a jumping off point. And on that website, you can also reach out to me. My full name is Seb Brantigan. If you look me up on Facebook and other social media platforms, you'll find me there. But if you go to marketwithseb.com, that's where you can get that free giveaway. I know it'd be really valuable to you. And that's something I do charge clients for, to um, put all these digital assets together. But as I say, I wanted to give away something valuable, actionable, that I know is really going to help everyone who's listening, and of course the industry.
I'm definitely going to download that one. Great. So, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your inspiring journey and the impactful work you're doing through your optimization skill sets. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on our Founders Podcast.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for having me, Ash, and thanks everyone for listening. I really appreciate you all.
Great. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of our Founders Podcast. I hope you found our conversation with Seb insightful and inspiring. If you're a founder or an industry expert interested in sharing your story on our podcast, please don't hesitate to reach out. Simply email me at ash@artcircles.com and let's connect for a potential interview opportunity. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep building.